get blue side. Start off on a good start. And you know what? You called a Chronicler. Not a big surprise, especially against Chovy, who loves this pick. They're going to ban Corki. And so we will not get Corki played in this first game. Rumble, you know, he got tapped on the patch. Still got to ban it. And Azir also going to be taken away from good old Chovy.
What about Nidalee? That would be the pick I'm looking towards. They're doing their best to get Fate. A good matchup here. And it's always going to be hard into Chovy. Man obviously plays a lot of champions at a very high level. Yeah, there is a Nidalee. So, unless they B1 Tristana, they are kind of making the call that Tristana is...
It's Renekton.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yep.
It's Morgan. Unless Gen
or
G
Sejuani
here. Well, I think Gen G can leave it both. Oh, okay, I was about to say, maybe you leave it open and then you pick whichever doesn't get picked, so you get like Sejuani, Braum. But not going to be the case. And as mentioned, Tristana definitely has dropped to the Sejuani. It makes complete sense. We've already taken away one of the big counters. Hope it's not Maokai. You know, I think Syra and Brand still looks completely fine.
It's Canyon too. I mean,
I can't believe we didn't talk about Ezra yet. Actually, that's kind of illegal. And the fact that it goes over the pace is also not okay, because I know we have Viper, and I think that he is by a large margin the strongest player right now. But I've been a big Pace fan. It was because of this pick.
But Chronicler, Pace is on the undefeated team, so he must be the best AD carry in the league.
Okay, we both know that's not true. But I did see Pace get a penta and a quad route by basically single-handedly dragging his team across the line. So he's really good still. And it's gonna be Maokai. I didn't want this to be the case, but this is generally Gen G's meta read when the Sejuani comes in, is to just answer with the tree. And because the Senna's not going to get picked, this isn't a flex. This is just the reality of the situation. I was actually waiting to see if they wanted to go to like Lucian. But no, it's just going to be Zeri, most likely for Envy, but obviously it could be Zeri mid.
Yeah.
Seen it crop up.
You never know. Leona, Ezreal Leona, handed over. And so they're just going to pick it. Already a lot of CC, a lot of lockdown, and one of the best bottom lanes in the game over to the side of Gen G. Well, what did Bro get, you ask? They have also in their own right a top 80 carry, but then they have, you know, a little bit of synergy between top and jungle, and Sejuani's good. She's good.
The Brionne comp looks really good when you look at individual strength. I remain unconvinced by Sejuani and Nara as a combo, as a 1-2.
Same.
But I think individually they are considered the best champions in their role right now, outside of some specific scenarios like the Nidalee ban makes a lot of sense. So now you ban, what, Braum and Renata? If they pick Alistar, I think you're fine with that. Alistar Zeri as a lane is really weak, so you can bully them out. You can also go for... I don't even know, like, I don't think a Karma angle is likely. So I imagine it's just...
Or like a Lulu.
Yeah.
Could be another look.
Yeah, I think Lulu ban is fine. I imagine Brionne is going to look for engage. So, like, with the tendencies this team has, probably going to be Alistar, Rel, Rakan. Rakan might not be a bad sell either. I know that... okay. Because I know that the Rakan into Leona matchup used to be really bad, and now I think it's fine. It's still not amazing, but I think it's fine. And Zeri Rakan is a lane we see very often. Did they ban GP? GP ban? I wouldn't want to play into Keen's GP when there's Maokai and Leona on the enemy team. That doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty rough spot you're putting yourself in. And there it is. Good call. GP banned away. I am curious, though, about what is going to be selected here. It's just going to be...
Okay, so it's Ezreal mid. Unless it's Kalista top, which...
It could be.
Keen could, but I think that...
I don't know if...
It's Ezreal mid,
really
yeah.
Want to do that, yeah. Ezreal mid seems like the most likely. But there are some crazy things they could do.
It could also be Kalista mid, and then you bind to the Maokai.
That seems good, too, although I don't know about Kalista mid. You did say that Chovy's playing pretty much every 80 carry and 80 champ in the book in mid.
Yeah.
So maybe Kalista's just another one.
Yeah, yeah. It's so all the things are weird, right? Like all the options, realistically. It's either going to be the comeback of the Shy, Kalista top. It's going to be Ezreal mid and Kalista bot. We'll have to see what it actually ends up being. And this is really scary because you don't really know what's going on. I think the Yone is a great safe bet, though. I love Yone. I think your pick right now is really strong. It's also combined with the Sejuani, so that's a great 1-2. What is going to round this up? What is happening is the real question. If this R5, we're going to find out.
Toby said to give him something, so...
Oh, God, it is actually...
That is the one that's mid, is the Lucian. And so the Kalista almost definitely is top. Yeah. You could play Ezreal top. I don't know why you would ever do that.
Goes like, oh,
yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, so in case you don't know, on the next patch, patch 14-15, 80 carries as a role are getting... They're taking a beating. Yeah. There's a lot of nerfs that are going to come through. Unfortunately for Morgan, he is now playing Gnar into a ranged matchup, which is not where you want to be as Gnar.
Yep.
And I remember seeing clips, I think it was Sanguine Blade Kalista in top. It's not fun.
So if Gen G have this really cool strat, why are they pulling it out right now against Bro?
Because I don't think they care, and like you can ban Kalista and then they'll play Draven top if they think that this is the way to go.
Or just take the Zeus Zeri top.
Varus top is something that I know we've seen a lot popularized by Kerberos as far as I'm aware, and we've seen a lot of Varus top in the LEC as well.
Is that Bellsprout?
I think Bellsprout and Brion, that makes sense.
Why was there a Bellsprout?
I don't know.
I need an explanation.
It's cute. It's fun.
Okay, so G-Sun explained it. It says, please win for me, and it's a meme in Korean. That explains it a little bit. Because the Bellsprout looks very desperate.
Hey,
so
that's
use the desperate Bellsprout. It's a meme. Anyway, guys, let's jump on the riff for game 1. Alrighty, here we go. Game number 1. As Gen G say, you know what? It's a new patch. Let's also bring in 380 carries. And this is the answer to Gnar. When Renekton is banned, when Jax gets nerfed, let's just play Kalista top, because why not?
It's actually telling. We haven't even, you mentioned it, but the fact that Keen was, I think, by far our most competent Jax into Gnar player. He has talked in length about how he feels like that matchup is very playable if you do it the way he does, which, you know, if it was easy to figure out how he plays it, then more people would do it, and it's not. But Keen has been very good. I'm 99% sure that the person that did actually invent this was specifically the Shy. I know at least he's the one who popularized it. Cool to see it brought back as a late invade.
Canyon has no idea. He is going to Bramble Smash and try to get away from this one. There's the flash. And the late invade does come through, but then they immediately back away as they win the trade, but then they say, you know what? We don't want to win the 4v4. And now we got a little engaged down on the bottom side as Envy has to flash here at level 1, and Lehens gets away scot-free.
That took a nosedive. That started the trade.
Yeah, so the game just started, guys. It just started now. I thought that we were going to play some League of Legends today, but I guess we're not. We're playing Swarm, and Bro are the minions that attack you. As it has been 1,091 days, and the last person to play it was Keen into DK Khan.
Oh God, Veldis, it's so... Everything's on fire! Young Jay's clear is delayed because they only got the flash. They weren't able to actually... And I think they shouldn't. I think the level 1 of Ezreal, Leona, Lucian is way too much to deal with.
Yeah.
So they didn't get the kill, so the late invade didn't work. Then bot lane already got a flash forced. Heal forced as well, by the way. 0 minions for Envy.
0 for Morgan. I mean, they will have big waves that crash.
Remember how when we had the Halo Blades meta, it was really unfun to just watch the bot lane be decided in the first 3 minutes?
Yeah.
What if we did that in every single lane? Look at the minions! It's 16-0, 18-4, 21-6.
19-0. Now they're diving. This isn't looking... Oh, no, it's looking fine. Envy's just going to die. Lahens might pay for it, and down he goes. But it's still a winning trade for GENG. Yes, they lose their support, but the Zeri has 6 CS and no TP.
He doesn't even get the kill. Oh, GENG.
He might be able to go for it. Yep, he's looking for that kill. And Morgan's like, wait, how do you play this matchup? I've never played this matchup.
Yeah, so the big thing with Gnar that makes him so oppressive is that you pick him generally when everything is okay as a counter pick into melee, because he has obviously insanely good spacing with the speed on his hyper, and oh god,
oh no,
oh they're bringing Lahens in as well.
Lahens
No,
is here.
Yojay, Yojay, no!
Stay, no. Oh, the ward came down. They're actually.
I don't know if that matters.
Are they gonna back?
No, I no. You
They're like fake backing out of.
No, he's getting Mega. Oh no, not in time.
Yeah, no,
okay.
they're just fake backing. And Morgan does have flash. I think he gets out because Kenyon doesn't have flash. And maybe not. He's trying to get in range here. Nope, I was right. He does get away just because Kenyon doesn't have flash. Now, again, he gets away, he survives, but he's not farming at all. He's not even getting XP.
Elvis, what do we talk about? What? It's a 1.2k gold lead at 4.5 minutes.
Ooh, oh, ooh, ow, ooh, ooh, ow. All right, surely a gank works. Chovy is just gonna dash and then dodge.
Are you kidding me?
Just dash and then he
doesn't even flash.
He just walks away.
Because I've watched so much Challengers VODs, I feel like I have a really high level of tolerance for shenanigans. You know, like decisions being made that shouldn't be made.
Yeah.
But this, I don't know how to deal with this.
This is a new level, Chronicler. Chovy is now freezing the wave in front of his turret.
Top is frozen.
Top is frozen. It just feels like GENG.
I'm not even in this game, and I'm tilted. Just looking at it.
Now, this is a good trade, but Chovy has level 6, so it's not a good trade anymore, and Fade has to flash. So out he goes. He is not level 6 himself, so no recourse really. Meanwhile, Canyon is fighting the top laner.
At least we know that the Breon fans, they won't care about it.
Oh, yeah, no. Browsitivity's through the roof. This is a very fun game to watch.
They're unbothered as we're rotating up 5 people. We're getting these grubs. We're doing it.
They're just going to get one and back. And it's such a huge commitment from Bro. I mean, I understand it, right? They're behind. They want to get something.
Oh, but it's also frozen. That's fun.
Not anymore, but yeah. It was there for a while. And now maybe we're going to dive Keen. Now, Kalista has level 6 and is probably bound to the Maokai. Can they get to Keen? Can Canyon get to Keen is the question. Will Keen survive 4 people diving him? As Canyon is not level 6 himself. He's clearing the wave as well. I mean, Envy can't push the wave in fast enough, and so the dive cannot commence. So no dive with 4 people on the top side of the map.
Pace is level 6. Chovy's a level up. Keen, again, they haven't even had to use...
Baseball is about to happen. There it is. And Envy has flash, has cleanse. He is going to use that, but he gets slowed up immediately. Nice knock up here from Paulo, actually. Going to save Envy as Lahens does get denied entry.
It's actually really nicely done there by Paulo. Good shout out, Valdez. Some do get used. Envy, flash cleanse. Paulo also had to use his heal. But considering the investment, there's 2 flashes used on the side of GENG. Not going to be feeling too bad. This is where the real issue arises. You might see Morgan CS and go, oh, it's a lane swap. You know, GENG lane swapped on them. It makes sense. And then you look at Keen CS and realize that did not happen.
No.
And
no lane swaps in this game.
No, it was all just standard lanes.
Take it away, Chronicler.
I don't know when the Flame Horizon is going to come in, but I do feel relatively confident that Keen is hitting that. They even swap around to ensure that he is in a 1v1 against Morgan.
Yeah.
Because obviously you don't want to be a Kalista that isn't bound to a support alone in a 1v1. And like, you look on the side of Brion, it doesn't even feel like you can talk about some of the stuff you normally talk about when it comes to, like, even just double AD carry comps, but let alone triple AD carry, which is that the comms are very volatile. Oh, that back cancel was so rough.
And it is Zeri, so I think he just skates the wall and he's fine.
But the damage,
anyone else, he's dead.
But the damage is still done. Because they're swapping again. Like, Brion is just swapping continuously, trying to then get Morgan to the top side because they want him in the 1v2, which honestly, I don't know if he should be, but he definitely can't lane against Keen. So then we're rotating Zeri down, but that means a lot of the wave is lost. And we're going to, I guess, try and dive Keen again because he doesn't have flash. So
I don't think this works. In fact, I think Paulo might die. He nearly does. As speaking of dying, Morgan is dead. Down he will go. And that's just a straight up 2v1. As you mentioned, you know, can he even solo lane? The answer is no. So down he goes. And GENG are really not holding back. And ult's going to go into a Maokai. Canyon is getting knocked up here, but he is just going to run away. He's got the face rush, and he just walks it off.
You know how sometimes we say if this was a scrim, this game would be remade. And I think we use that way too liberally. You know, there is a lot of value in trying to come back from a deficit. It's a skill that some of the best teams in League history have made kind of one of their main defining characteristics. If this game was a scrim, it would be remade.
Yeah. This is one of those where we could say.
Because, and understandably, like, I don't think there's good answers with the lane swaps. I understand why they're trying to swap, but I think that you have to accept that Morgan is just going to suffer in the 1v1. And in the 1v1, I don't think it's much more playable, but Envy and Paulo at least won't get dove in a 2v2. So, and they're never diving Keen, right? Like, that's just not happening, especially not with how Kane has been playing towards him. Yeah. And this reminds me of the Quinn game. That was, I think, the best Quinn game that I've seen in the LCK last year when KT played around Keen and his Quinn, and it was exceptional as yet. Now we're 3 people, they can dive.
Okay, the Zeri ulted, surely they're okay. They're just going to engage on an Envy, and you know what? They are totally fine in the 2v3 under the turret. Lahens nearly dies himself. And yes, a bunch of damage was done to Envy and Paulo, but it feels like the first win that we can actually say Bro have gotten in this game.
Very nicely done there. Ends up being Envy getting a little bit more fed here. And GENG, that's the one thing that I do think they have to be very mindful of. I think it's really easy when you're this far ahead to start, as we have been doing, just kind of cutting corners. And I don't think that Brion should do that. That said, though, it's not the end of the world. If they had 6 on the hands, maybe that works out, but Envy, and particularly Paul, actually doing a great job here. So they're trying to just get on top of the Zeri, but crucially, Envy's cleanse means that he doesn't actually get clipped by Paze's ult, so all the CC doesn't really go anywhere. There's no ult for Canyon. There's no ult for Lahens. So you see Maokai and Leonie are like, oh, they're going to get locked down and die, but after the cleanse, there really wasn't a whole lot less, as Canyon is just going lock it first here. So shying away from the Zeeks, and unfortunately signaling that the era of AP junglers and carry junglers is over again, and we're going back to support.
So now we're just going to have Canyon playing tanks that build support items.
Yeah.
That's not very fun. And this is not very fun for Chovy either, as he will flash at the very end. Does get clipped by pretty much everything there. And Bro will get their second win of the game, able to shut down Chovy in mid.
After Chovy played that previous gank as perfect as one could, he doesn't flash the engage. He's like, no, I can walk it off. He could not walk it off. And we're starting to see a little bit of momentum here, Valdez.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's not.
Hashtag Bro momentum.
It's still 3K when it comes to the deficit, but it's something.
Well, he's just going to ult the rush for some reason. I don't
I think to cancel the.
I guess.
To cancel the base.
I mean, that's an ultimate ability.
Yeah, but he can't go in because he's Leona. So if
Yeah.
he walks up, he just dies.
It's funny too. Keen not bound to the Leona, actually bound to the Maokai. So Chovy's just like, yeah, I'm fine.
And so the X factor here is Youngjae because he actually doesn't die if it's just Yone as well as the Rakan. So actually really nicely done there by Youngjae, catching him off guard, getting the ult chain. Turret's still going to go down. And there we see, look,
5 plates.
In this beautiful, you know, this is like a western, and you have like the backdrop.
Yeah.
Of the
You can see like the cliffs and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's great. It got a little bit better there for a bit, and now GENG still at a 3K gold deficit. Morgan actually has been able to catch up quite nicely. So this Flame Horizon I was talking about, still further off the horizon. Things are stabilizing a little bit, and we will see GENG are gonna most likely heavily contest for this Hextech Drake. And the grub's actually all going to Brian. I think when you have this many AD carries, not going to be feeling too bad about that. Or rather, that GENG didn't.
Yeah. Well, GENG got 1. So it's not all. But, yeah, they're just going to group up bot, get that turret down on the bottom side. We'll see if they can actually finish that one off. I think with 4 people down there, it's either this wave or the next. As TP now just going to be utilized into mid to try to push mid and top at the same time for GENG. And now we got a little rotation coming on over as that's the charm on a 2, the knock-up and the team fight for bro. Chovy is dead, pays. He's going to be saved by the Maokai, but is he saved actually? Takes a bit of damage, but Fate not able to ascend quite as far as he would like to. But Lahen's just going to have to pay for it now by his life as nearly gets the knock up there. But now we got Keen in the party, throws Canyon in. This is a 3v5. You don't have to take this, but GENG will anyway. As Youngjae is getting low, they get the knock-up on the Keen and he goes down. And GENG, they play with their food for just a little bit too long, and the food attacks back. They will totally wipe GENG in the fight.
And Pace tried his darndest, but it's not enough. GENG disrespecting and getting punished by the Burleaf. Look at the confidence here. Paulo starts up with the heal, gets on top of them, and even though they're unable to connect the initial setup that comes through from Morgan, GENG could have opted out of this. There were multiple opportunities, but overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. Veldus, look at this. Going back in, Keen feels so insanely strong. But because you're up 2 members, like the amount of cooldowns you have available, plus the fact that Keen is basically playing frontline, not enough. Again, I think Pays, just a little bit more time, a little bit more frontline, could have done a whole lot, still be able to end up getting a couple of kills, but that is, without a shadow of a doubt, a huge win for Brian, and now only 1.5k gold behind. And this composition from GENG, it does need to keep winning, because it's triple AD carry, Veldus.
Yeah. Well, they're really trying to push the tempo here. Press the envelope. We'll see if they can do that. Morgan trying to take this outer and top, but GENG as a team getting down there in the bottom side. They're going to take out the turrets. You can see the difference in where the minions are coming from, or rather the gold. As Fate is going to ult on in, but now he's taking a bunch of damage to the Maokai. Chases all the way in. The culling is being blocked by Palu the Charm. Utilized on the Canyon, but the Locket is there as well, just for that extra bit of shielding. And GENG will be totally fine. Gets a little bit iffy, but they get the job done.
Want to highlight as well, Chovy actually is going for Blade of the Ruined King. I'm kind of wondering if he goes Blade Cleaver. It's a build that we used to see all the time on Lucian, as well as on mid Lucian specifically. Not something that we have seen in a very long time. Don't remember the last time that would be the case. Also wonder what Keen's going to go here. I think that particularly when you're playing like Solo Lane, Kalista Terminus early on actually has a ton more value than it normally would. And this is a very late Drake. Like this might be one of GENG's latest Drakes that they've had this season. Yeah. Actually ends up being Cloud, which they got a lot of champions that can benefit from that on either side, really.
Absolutely. Bro are trying to siege this mid-tier 1. They would really love to take that off the map after the Rift Herald did a big chunk. Here comes Morgan as well. Just really trying to force this. So all 5 members of Bro in mid. And they should be able to take it down, especially because Kane is not there. He doesn't have TP, so GENG is going to take the loss. Bro group up for the mid tier 1.
What is really interesting, and we've obviously been having a little bit of silliness in this game, both from the draft as well as how the first couple of minutes played out. But what GENG is doing here is taking what they've always been great at, which is specifically setting up good wave states, pushing aggressively, and securing objectives above kills and above OLs to like a really extreme degree. The fact that outside of mid, they've already taken topside, outer, both inners, and how aggressively they're playing just to get shove in every single lane and really kind of just go towards a natural 1-3-1 style is really interesting. I just don't think 1-3-1 really works in the current state of League. We'll have to see how they're able to play out the mid to late game team fights, because despite everything, and despite Brion closing some of the gap, there is still a lot of gold on GENG. But in the grand scheme of things, like 2K, that's not that much.
Yeah, it's not crazy, and there is a large amount of CC on the side of Bro. If they can link some of that CC into some of these squishy 80 carries on GENG, then a lot of that gold just goes bye-bye, right? If they can just kill one member. And as you're pointing out, Envy is really fed. 5 kills, has a bounty. Doesn't have a lot of CS, but it's still a relatively big Zeri at this point in time. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that we have Bro try to come back, but that Maokai ultimate going to put a damper on things. As now the culling thrown in, and a massive true shot barrage going to hit everyone, and Youngjae just disappears. And down goes the Sejuani, and well, having a little bit of positivity there for a moment, but it kind of ended pretty quickly.
Yeah, the one downside of playing into triple 80 carries is that there's free 80 carries. So you die very quickly, Valdez.
Yeah.
If you don't get on top of them, they will just chew through you, particularly because the builds that we see for tanks nowadays are very support focused. We see the Locket, but even Zeke's Warmox isn't really about the raw resistances. And as you point out, just a really insane amount of damage to come through here. Like, it's the poke plus the big true shot barrage, and then Canyon showing again why the Maokai is such a valuable pick. Press R, follow up all the CC, and then it's like shooting fish in a barrel, which GENG, unlike some of our teams last week, were actually able to hit the fish.
Yeah. Speaking of hitting the fish, Youngjae did ult the Leona, which also didn't quite help out. But I really don't think it matters all too much, because as you mentioned, he could have ulted Paze, he could have ulted Chovy,
That's
but
what
then
I was looking for.
Maokai presses R.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, nobody can follow up on my ult.
Well, it's also Paze as both sums, right? So, and I think getting Cleanse alone would be nice, but you're getting Cleanse and E. You're never getting a Flash unless you have him in a much more compromising position.
I think the point I'm trying to make is that Maokai's OP.
I agree. Yeah, I'm with you. Sorry for distracting you.
Maokai's very overpowered. Really too strong.
He's been meta for...
He presses R.
2.5 years as well.
Yeah.
Although it started as top Maokai, I remember, because this was Worlds 2022. Oduamne played it in a win back when he was on Rogue into DRX. The
world champion.
Yes.
Yeah. That did happen.
That did happen.
But now Maokai is just in the jungle, and he doesn't get much farm. He presses R, and you just draft as many 80 carries as you can possibly fit onto one team.
I don't think that's entirely Maokai's fault. I feel like 80 carries are a bit silly right now. But he helps.
It's not Maokai's fault. He's there. He's just helping out.
He's part of the
very strong.
Part of the problem.
He is. And it makes comps like this much easier to play. But it looks like, by the way, you know, something that Ox was talking about in the pre-show, and something that we did expect with the Warmog's nerfs to the base health. It's not base health, I think it's added health.
Yeah, bonus health.
Bonus health that you need for the Warmog's passive to proc is that you see one item and then Warmog's, which is what we're going to be getting here from Canyon. And it's a supportive item because, well, he's playing with 380 carries. So he'll shield them, and then he's also going to be very tanky. And the Warmog's nerf will make Warmog's Rush not as viable, but it's still going to be built.
Yeah, and once you get a Kindle Gem, right, like, you're still going to be fine.
Yeah, Lahen's built it first still, and so did Palu.
Takes a little bit of time. That is all, as Chovy is just merrily taking the dragon, living his best life. Pace now has Spear done as well. So really going for the maximum amount of Qs that he can fire off. But Breon, good counterpunch here. Actually, with the grubs, they're going to chew for this pretty quickly. Just need to be careful not to get engaged on.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, but all things considered, the early game was such a disaster for Bro. It's actually really impressive that they were able to hold on to their mental and not get tilted and have a couple of really great team fights. Yes, GENG was overconfident, and they made some silly plays, but like the fact that Bro was there and ready to make those plays was really awesome.
And you know why? It's because they have practice, Feldes. Practice in playing from behind.
Yeah, a lot of it.
The experience is shining through. Envy has been... Is he going to buy like a full item? I swear, he's been sitting on just these 2 items for a very long time. I guess maybe his boots weren't finished. He just finished the items first and then went into BF Sword. Felt like he had more gold. But the fact that the game feels the way that it did and Pace is only like half an item up is pretty remarkable. This game is kind of stalled down as well.
Yeah.
And I do think that Breon needs to do 2 things. Get a little bit of control back, because GENG is going to start the Nash within now, and well, I thought the next minute, but
now
they're doing it now. Within the next now.
Yeah. From now until like a little bit later than now.
Oh, okay.
They started it though.
They did.
You were correct. But they will respect it, because at the end of the day, Maokai Ultimate will work for that moment in time, you know, a couple of seconds. But on something like a big objective like a Baron, you need more time than that most of the time. So they're going to wait. They're going to look for just a bit of poke first, and they do have this very fed Ezreal. And they're trying to get Paze as much room as possible to just poke them down, push them away from the Baron River, and maintain control of the vision around this part of the map. The side lane, as we can see, is Chovy up against Fate still. They're both level 14, going head-to-head, and it was looking even until Fate, as we see now, gets pushed out of the lane.
It looks like Kane isn't actually at the threshold yet for Warmox to kick in. Because he took a bunch of damage from the Baron and
yeah,
still not sitting at a sufficient amount of health.
Maybe when he hits level 13?
Yeah, we do have some posturing happening here.
Yeah, Lahen's trying to engage on him. The slow will come down. They're not sure about who to engage on just yet. Pace just sitting there doing tons of damage, and nobody is able to hit anything onto him. The Solar Flare comes down. They were waiting, desperate for that Mega Gnar, but it just never happened, and nobody else pressed their buttons. So Pace just holding on to Cleanse, waiting, and then nobody uses anything, so he doesn't have to use Cleanse.
I also can't believe he just sat there against the wall. Like, not eeing over, is just staring them down. A lot of poke damage to come through here. Morgan does, of course, have TP. We'll see. Pace still took a good amount of damage despite trading up, so I don't know if they really want to do the Nash here. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah. I mean, Pace can just... He can just do that. And as long as he has Arcane Shift and Cleanse available, it's almost not even worth throwing an ultimate. I think it's good to get the Cleanse and just throw the ult and just force him to do something. But if he Arcane Shifts it, then it feels really bad.
Man, GENG are really going out with the items as well. So Keen end up going for Kraken Slayer, not Terminus, which Kraken Slayer obviously really strong. QSS next. And then we also have Chovy going for Essence Reaver, and I imagine he's going Cleaver next based on the Phage. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll link that to the space.
Somebody's got to check the brush. Notice the banana brush absolute domination from GENG.
It's not even just control. I agree.
Yeah.
It is much deeper than that. It's pure, unbothered. Look at them. They can't even approach.
You know who knew this? Ox. Ox knew this.
He warned us.
Ahead of time. Like, the second the banana brush was in the game, he's like, that brush is the one you need to control. And GENG, they gave up some vision on Baron, but because they had control of banana brush, they were able to retake control of the Baron vision very easily. And yeah, now Lahen's kind of get caught in the same place, and the Maokai ult is going to come in here. This time GENG, they want to get aggressive with it, and Pace is just so massive that he's going to kill 2 people before the fight even really begins, as Fate is also going to go down, and this one is already a wash. It's just going to be a clean ace to the side of GENG, unless Morgan somehow miraculously gets out. That's not going to happen. Nobody dies on GENG. Everybody dies on Bro. And game one, it's over, guys. It's over.
Well, some might even say Brover. Keen's just going to solo the Dragon. I thought they were going to also send someone mid, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. As we're taking out a look here. It's exactly the same play where they're like kind of engaging, but Lahens is standing there, and then they're like, oh, I don't really want to engage. And then they're dead. The GENG doesn't really give you a lot of thinking power. And Space is unbothered, but there's also Keen and Chovy who are also there and doing a whole lot of damage. Love to see this.
Very bright.
It is.
They might engage, he says. This is doable. And he's the AD carry. You don't talk if you're the AD carry. But you guys got to watch his first-person view.
I'm not sure if he would have hit the wall, but almost looked like he eat out of getting knocked back in. And
there's so much stuff happening. The camera went like 7 different directions before we even saw that Bro members are dying again. GENG, it's almost like they took a break. They were like, ah, let's just rest for 10 minutes. I don't know. And now they're like, okay, let's end the game. I'm bored.
Okay, we had our fun.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we
let's put them out of their misery.
Yeah, it shouldn't come as a surprise who I voted for.
I think it's Pace. I think it's, yeah. He is up 3 levels on Envy at this point. And Young Jay, I mean, he doesn't have anything as an R into the wall. And Morgan, you see the ult does get the back. And finally killed Pace. But wait, there's more. There's 2 more AD carries, guys. You killed the Ezreal.
Guys?
You used everything.
Diving very deep.
No, I think it's fine, actually.
They didn't have damage dealers.
Chovy he's untouchable, and Keen is still full health.
Keen's like, guys, can we end?
Just have so many AD carries and you get this far ahead that it's just, Bro need to use everything to kill 1, and there's still 2 left. So the Nexus is gonna fall. GENG will win this game number 1 in 30 minutes, or after they've had their fun and get their DPM numbers just a little bit higher, and that's gonna do it for game 1. GG.
Some silly moments in this one, Valdez. I imagine the coaches will be very happy with the first 10 minutes, then have some choice words. But in the end, despite all the Broly, despite some great teamfight angles, and despite some overconfidence from GENG, they end up taking a very comfortable victory here. Felt like this game could have probably, could have shaved a little bit off when it comes to the time that the Nexus fell, but at the same time, this one didn't really feel particularly close.
Yeah, that early game is one that's going to stick in a lot of teams' minds, and yeah, that's very scary. T1, they brought it out at EWC, they put the Zerion top lane, and now it's just very similar. GENG are like, well, we can do this, so we might as well. You can bully the Gnar with Kalista, so let's just throw it in the top lane. And then Chovy's like, yeah, I can get a winning matchup in mid. And the bottom lane didn't go any better for Bro either, as Paze racked 40,000 damage, 41,000 damage in a 30-minute game. And yeah, that was game number 1. I'm hoping that game number 2 delivers a little bit more in terms of back and forth gameplay, but I'm not sure that we're going to get it, Chronicler. We're just going to have to wait and see. As that was game number 1, we are going to take a break and have the space. We will be right back.
약간 더 높은 건부만 조심하면 될 것 같아.
뭔가 내 쪽으로 오면 나 공대고.
눈에 집 찍었다. 눈에 집. 아. 오, 흐름했어.
너무 약해.
Go into game number 2. Let's see if Brion can do it this time. Do the funniest thing in the LCK history imaginable.
Yeah, imagine if it was game 1 that happened and then Bro just win 2 in a row. You know? Atlas was asking for some bropium. I'm trying. Now, the bans are the same so far, including that one. Do they first pick Ezreal?
You gotta.
Does
right
GENG
after
change
that
their
game,
last ban?
I don't think they do. Why would they?
Span Ashe?
Yeah. I don't think there's any need. I think the Sejuani was completely fine.
Maybe they're expecting an Ezreal first pick and they want to have Ashe.
And like then Sejuani instead, and you take either side and you're... Oh, okay. That's so interesting. I feel like it was such a rough matchup. Maybe Keen's like, I want to play something fun. And I'm like, Keen, you just played Kalista. That wasn't fun.
I said fun. Locks in Teemo.
Oh, God. Did Viper have a Teemo game?
He did.
Yeah, that did.
That was during the Awesome Dudes meta. Now, they're gonna give Pays Ezreal again for some reason. I can't fathom why.
You know, I'm always trying to look for the bright side of things and willing to give the benefit of the doubt. But I think that's actually... Oh my God, they're not even going to pick it. That's hilarious.
They could always pick both if they really wanted to. But might just want to get Maokai.
To be fair, if you lock in Ashway, like, what do you do if you're Brion? Just go Zeri again? And then you play into Ash Braum and you just get absolutely annihilated. Chovy just plays Ezreal mid because why wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't think there are a lot of good answers into that, but...
It's going to be Maokai.
It's probably just Maokai. It's safer. It's more Gen.G on this patch. Yeah.
I'm just so sad that Canyon is shackled again. We saw him unshackled. And they won MSI, Valdez. There was Italy, there was Carthus.
He was top POG points in the LCK for that brief moment in time before 14-14 hit.
Back to Maokai. That's not fair. He plays Sejuani as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ezreal will be selected, so, you know, Gen.G, they try to mix up the draft, but they end up not getting Ezreal, and they take Ashe, and they give Ezreal to Envy. Will they care, is the question.
Chovy, let's play Lucian again. Maokai Lucian, it's Tristana's gone, but at what cost?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the bros for this one kind of high. I don't know to which extent we're going to see really big pivots in the second half of this rotation. I like the pivot from OK Bambro. I think Sejuani, Yone, perfectly fine. Yeah, Ezreal taken away, even though GENG clearly think Ezreal is not nearly as good. And I do think Ashe is the most oppressive AD carry that we have at the moment in terms of laning. And our damage output is also very crazy, because people have given up on like the on-hit variety, which doesn't really do that much, and just gone full crit and found out that our damage is kind of nuts.
Just do some boom boom.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Karma ban because you want to play Ashe Braum or something else that really enables Ashe to take over the lane, but Ezreal Karma is one of the lanes that will be able to fight back against an Ashe, so they immediately eliminate that.
Is it I think it's a Lehens counterpick angle. But that's what I'm feeling. I think you go R5 Lehens. They could just go like they could just go Nautilus or Leona. Leona's probably gonna end up being. Although if you ban Braum, I think you ban Leona as well if you're Brion.
And then they just play Alistar.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess. But I don't want Alistar. I want something fun. Give me a Lehens classic. Okay, where's my Singed?
I like the Rakan ban as well. Just that extra layer of hard engage that even goes beyond like a Nautilus or anything like that. I mean, Nautilus is a different kind of hard engage. But the Cassante ban is going to come through here, so
Maybe
I
they
guess-
don't blind for Keen, then. Just pick Leona.
yeah. So they do blind for Keen.
No,
They don't blind for Lahens.
no, they just pick Leona here, is what I thought was going to happen.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
But that doesn't happen.
That's me mixing it up. We're not a Glask.
I don't know about... But the problem is there's not really anything else that you want to play, because the thing you'd want to play is Karma, right? Picking an engage support into Renata feels so bad. Like, it feels so rough, because she thrives.
Plays Seraphine,
I would
Bard.
I think Rel is better than Leona. I think with Rel at least, there's the opportunity to lock down the entire team. But no, it's going to be Leona. It's a strong pick, but I don't like it.
Let's further commit. Jax, blinds.
Yeah. What is Keen going to pick?
On paper, this bro draft is amazing, by the way.
It is.
Like, if you just look at that draft,
No,
wow,
I agree. I'm with you.
it's fantastic.
Jax into double AD carry as well.
Yeah,
Watch
you
Keen.
got double melee for your Sejuani. You have the best bottom lane right now.
Watch Queen. I was about to say, watch
Queen.
Keen go like Quinn or Kalista again, but no, Udyr. And I think a collective groan, because
Yeah.
Udyr has not been great.
I think
but
I heard one person clap.
I gotta say, it's this or Gragas. I think Gragas is exceptional into the Jax as well. AP Gragas also would work really well. But I think this is Keen just going, guys, I'll bite the bullet. And out of every Udyr that we've seen, I feel like Keen, even when Udyr started dropping off, has been the only Udyr that actually fulfills the dream of his lane dominance, which he gets because of the shoving potential on his R, like the proxying, the actual threat. And a lot of Udyr's damage is not relying on obviously you want to weave in a lot of autos, but your R is going to do damage to Jax nonetheless. So hopefully he'll be able to punish the lack of early shove that the Jax has while simultaneously not getting punished, because obviously that topside full, bro, absolutely insane. So strong between the double melees with Sejuani. Can't wait to see how they use it here. And there's a lot of squishies on the side of GENG.
Yeah. The sign just says GENG doesn't lose. It's
That's
very straight to the point.
very true.
Yeah, they don't generally lose. And they're looking to continue with their streak. But we'll see if OK Savings Bank Brion, if this is the answer for them. With the double melee with the Sejuani, you've got Ezreal Leona. Things are looking good. Here on the side of GENG, smattering of good things as well. Plus we're not a Glask, which I think might prove to be very difficult for Bro to deal with. Let's see how it goes as we hop into the Rift for game number 2.
수환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Here we go, game number 2. Chovy back on Lucian, Pays opting into the Ashe instead of the Ezreal. I feel like Ashe just really, really strong, especially played by one of our best AD carries here in the LCK. Also, you don't necessarily want to give over Sejuani Ashe either, so
Yeah.
taking that away from Bro feels good.
I think Pace is our best Ashe. I think our best AD carry is still Viper.
What about Ruler? Oh,
Well, yeah,
wait.
that's
Oh.
yeah.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
Unfortunately, Ruler is living. Well, I want to say his best life, but you know he did get his golden road stop, so I don't know about best, but it is good. Still living a great life.
Yeah.
JDG in the LPL.
Just having a good time, no doubt, without us over there.
We're not jealous, by the way.
Yeah, definitely not. Wow, okay, Palu gonna get us started off as now we do get the handshake, but that's already a lot of damage, and the flail coming out, hitting everybody. Morgan coming over as well, and, well, they don't get anyone. Trying to extend here on a pace, but that Q is the first choice for Palu, and now he's just getting kited out, and now he might actually die. He doesn't have flash, and yeah, he's dead. So that's first blood given over to Pays after that, level 1. As Envy not even able to punish either.
So it started off really well, Veldas.
Yeah.
Just like the late invade in the previous game. And this time around, they do get a lot of sums, but a lot of sums are used by Brienne as well. But then Pace showing the power of level 1 Ashe, and even without Halo Blades.
Slow comes in, Envy has to cleanse, and he's just gonna kill the Hens. And now the flash comes in, Envy looking for the 1v2, but it's not gonna happen. Pays able to fight back as cleanse and flash burned by Envy.
That guy's not normally, man. They need to check NPC. Pays, the presence of mind there to be like, okay, I need to level 2, actually gets the damage in on the minions to hit it. The fact that Lahens dies is very funny, and classic Lahens, not good in the slightest, feels somewhat unnecessary, especially because if you're gonna all in the Ezreal like that, probably just level the bailout. No, he didn't. I assume he didn't, otherwise he would have used them himself.
I mean, he got the slow, right, to land the
yeah,
the handshake.
I guess.
And it does the extra damage.
Well, yeah, but
Hey, it worked out.
It did work out. Now Pays already has boots as well as a longsword, so his early laning phase is going to be feeling great. The only downside is that I think they're down a little bit of experience. But I don't know. Oh, no, I don't know about going in there, Paulo. Yeah. I don't think you win this longer trade.
They're trying to really get this kill onto Lahens.
But
it's not going to happen.
Cleanse, and he's Ashe.
Yeah, he has cleanse, and Paulo can't get away because he doesn't have flash. He's just dead, and now Envy is baited in as well. It's just a double kill for the bottom lane of GENG. And the whole thing shouldn't have happened.
This isn't fair, okay? This is the weak spot for GENG. It's the weak spot, Valdez. You gotta have a weak spot. Can't only have good players. What's this? What's happening?
Yeah, that's the weak spot. The guy who just got 12 out of 12 in the last game. It's not fair because their top side is so strong, and that's what makes it the weak spot.
Oh my god.
Like, Pays and Lahens are a world-class bottom lane.
Oh, I love this. Yeah, this is what you want to try and do. Try and at least win some part of the map.
But this is Udyr. Can they kill him? They need to land the stun first, and they're not quite going to be able to, but now the Sejuani stun comes in, and Keen just walks it off, utilizes the walk strategy excellently, and he will survive.
I don't know what the wave state is, but that's still a bit of a tragedy. As we're taking another look here, so the kill comes in, Envy still level 1, and between the cookie, plus,
he says.
Yeah, plus the fact that he gets the level up, ice cold. Not even close. And then here, I need to check. I'm not sure. I thought it was...
Check NPC?
Yeah, because I'm not sure if it was Pays or Lahens that ended up warding the brush, but obviously that ends up being the big difference maker. PTA is activated on Pays, and he gets the extended play, because I think it's Pays.
You think Pays have a control?
Well, I mean, I thought he wouldn't, but just based on the range, I imagine it was just Lahens.
I think it was like the very edge of the brush by Lahens.
Yeah, and then because he walked back immediately. I imagine that was it. But now, suffice it to say, Pays is sitting on very...
Oh.
You might get a...
Baited?
Yeah, no, Trophy doesn't have flash. Youngjae also doesn't, but...
Yeah, the dash saves him.
Because I want to talk about this a little bit. Boots are getting a really big hit on the next patch. They're just getting like blanket, like every single boot is getting a hit because they are very strong right now. Well, everyone's going Boots Rush in every matchup. I feel like that shouldn't be a thing. But in a matchup like this, it is actually the way to go because getting these means that you can sidestep the Qs, you can sidestep the Ws, sidestep Leona's E, and play with so much more aggression as if Ashe Renata wasn't oppressive enough as is.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a problem. And the bailout's online. Pays and Lahens are pushing. They've got Canyon nearby, who is on vision. And Youngjae is coming down here to the bottom lane, so it doesn't look like they're going to go for a dive or anything like that. But they're still going to get a plate, plus the Demolish from Lahens. And so the 3-0-1 Ashe, who's ahead on farm, also picks up a plate and is feeling pretty good about herself. Mid lane going very similarly to the way it went in game number 1, unsurprisingly, which is, you know, Yone has a lot of survivability. Okay, they're going to flash on in once again onto Pays, who doesn't have his flash yet. Here's Youngjae, but they just don't want to do it. Envy's too low.
Oh, they know.
And Canyon's here. So, yeah.
I got to give credit to Brion. I think what they're doing is actually correct, right? So we have Youngjae identifying that bot side is a bit of a disaster, so try to gank top. Top gank doesn't work out. In isolation, Keen wins that matchup, which is why he's sitting on a big CS lead. Then Youngjae paps to mid, tries to look for a play on Chovy with a flash, but Chovy just walks it off. And then you go bot, you get FaZe's cleanse, and then Canyon is like still in the general vicinity, and I honestly think they might have won the 2v3 anyway. With Renata especially, like getting full use out of the fact that you have a lead is so much worse than it normally is. GENG is gonna, again, they really don't feel, or really feel like they don't really care about the grubs that much. We are rotating 2 people over, so maybe they want to do a late contest, but...
Looking for the kill here on a Fade who's in a bunch of trouble. That's the block on the ult. He still has flash, but... Nope, not quite going to be enough to extend that one. I thought maybe Chovy had not used the culling, but he already had. And so Fade barely gets away. He doesn't die, and that's a positive thing, right? Sorry, positive.
It is positive. It's still bad, though. Which I guess we could do Brad, but I think we're only doing O words into to bro, so I don't want to go too ham. As it's a toughie. I think there was a Morgan deterrent ult, or like a wave clear ult, just making sure that he can get the crash in. Is
Oh,
Envy. That's big.
It's over.
For the mental, absolutely pivotal. As Keen might be some trouble here. Doesn't close.
Trying to beat him in as now Youngjae, level 6, waiting to throw it forward, gets the stun down, and Keen is dead. They finally find an angle to take him down. It only took 3 people, but it's very nice to get Morgan a better lane state and a better spot in this game.
Still a big win. It doesn't seem like there's an opportunity. I think Envy is actually doing Krugs in the on live because he did get bullied away. So they get Keen. Really nice gang. Good setup here. Nicely done again from Youngjae. I think he has been right place, right time. But Envy got completely zoned off because Paulo was in fact out on the map. And it's like, damned if you don't. If you don't roam, then you're going to get pummeled in the 2v2. And your other lanes are also not doing that hot. Then...
Oh, trying to beat Chovy here, and it's actually going to work out. He does opt to flash. Oh, and he gets out of range, but finally the stun comes on in, and he should be going down. There it is. Fate going to pick up the kill, and it's just the roaming gang squad support and jungle trying to make stuff happen. Meanwhile, Envy is just, you know, sacrificed, as you mentioned, but at least they're getting kills.
They're saying, screw this bot side. We're just playing for top. And it's working a little bit. Keen is still fine in experience and in CS. And Chovy is still up 20 CS, so the kill just kind of equals it up. Yeah. And Envy's not in the game. But again, I'm being a bit facetious, but this is what Bro needs to do. Like, you can't match this bot side. I think trying to make a play on Pace and Lands, if it even backfires just a little bit, you immediately lose the game. Like, if Pace gets even more fed, because you do actually have really good tools of dealing with this, Ash, and I want to highlight that. You have Jax, as well as Yone, and then a Leona on top of it. So if Pace's cleanse is gone, or if you can ever get a flank, Ash doesn't have a lot of escapes. You know, she really thrives when she can keep the distance. Obviously, Hawkshot and the saplings are going to make your job harder, but it's not impossible for Brion to find angles once we get to mid to late, as long as the solo laners are in a good spot, which right now they are.
Look at this, Youngjae, ult available. Fate once again trying to bait in Chovy. I feel like Chovy is not going to respect it, actually. There's the follow-up on the Fate, as now Chovy is pretty low, but he's not going to die. And I kind of saw it coming. I'm like, they don't quite have enough damage to get him across the line, as now True Shot Barrage barely going to miss him. And Chovy will live.
And that's why boots are getting nerfed, Brandon. Right there. That was...
Thank you for the example. Fate does not have flash, and so he will go down. As Canyon finally is like, you know what? Stop bullying my mid laner. I'm going to help him out. Finally.
And Youngjae, he's trying his best. He just wants to clear his blue buff. Gets hit in the face by Pace's arrow. He's just standing there. Watching his mid laner go down, getting slapped by blue buff. So sad. Just want to clear his jungle, man.
I don't think Youngjae's allowed to clear his jungle. I think he has to keep ganking.
He is. He is trying. So we take another look. Nicely done, I think, here by Faye. The Q on the wave, so Chovy sees an opportunity to try and go for the punish. And then here, gets very far away, but unfortunately can't really outplay a point-and-click stunt from the Sejuani. And then here, yeah, Fate Should have just taken the crash. Wants to get the plate. I think he knows he can't really threaten Chovy, but really wants the plate. Ends up paying for it with his life. And they also know that Youngjae isn't there because he gets hit by the arrow, so they're not really too bothered.
Yeah.
2K gold lead now. Kraken Slayer done, and FaZe is a menace again.
Yeah, he's incredibly fed at this point in time. Fate continues to try to put on pressure, eats a turret shot. Palu is here, as is Youngjae. Trying to get on into this one. The culling might help a little bit, but I have a feeling Chovy's not getting out of this one, as down he will go. And another great gank from Youngjae.
FaZe, arrow.
All right, that's going to hit the Leona. Good block from Palu, but does he get away? Looks like the answer is going to be no. As that poor Leona, man. Palu's trying his best, but he's going to get caught out once again into, honestly, kind of an unplayable matchup.
That's a worthy sacrifice. Good for you, Palu. You got a kill on... Oh, no, it's Youngjae. Well, if it was Fate, it would have been great. Youngjae still going to use the goal, but not nearly as well, as we do have...
5 plates again.
Yes. Chovy also did not waste any time and nearly TP'd back. Second Drake's going to get taken. Oh, God. It's... oh, never mind. I'm getting pranked.
That was the first Drake.
Yeah, I thought that we were going to have a mountain, so I was like, man, that's fun. They have a lot of front line, but we don't know yet. We need to see. Because the Dragon is getting taken right now. We're going to find out soon. And they are a good amount earlier than they were last time around. It's Ocean.
Ocean.
Which...
Hell yeah.
It just doesn't really invoke a lot of emotions. Even though Youngjae doesn't actually get the Q cancel there, it doesn't matter. He's point blank range. Just go for the ultimate. And here it pays, yeah, not a whole lot of chance of missing in that one. I also really like the call from Brion. You just go like, Palu. I'm sorry, man, but they expect one of us in the wreckage, and that was Palu.
And now Chovy's laning against a Jax. Morgan up here in the top side. Got a couple of plates for himself. 250 gold. Len's thinking about coming in for a gank, and the Renata Glask is proving to be somewhat difficult to deal with, as, you know, is the first pick Ashe on red side from GENG. Good priorities from them to go for these couple of picks to really help them out here in the beginning of this game. Get them this lead, solidify it. And now they're just trying to make a play here on the Rift Herald. Will Bro fight over it?
I don't think they should. Doesn't look like they are. To me, any successful fight of Brion involves having Morgan there. I think Morgan is the biggest tool they have, because if you take down Chovy and or FaZe, this isn't a triple AD carry composition. They will actually be lacking damage. Now the problem is that Chovy is obviously insanely slippery, and then there is also Renata. And I don't have a solution for Renata as a champion, because you're playing a mostly melee comp with Ezreal, where the goal is going to be to kill the primary carries on GENG. But there's a Renata.
Yeah.
So that's not great.
Yeah. It was also picked before the Leona. The Leona does not do well into it, in the lane, in the game.
I actually really like the Bard. Like, they were hovering there. I feel like Bard, something like that.
Bard,
more subtle.
Seraphine, or like anything. Ooh. Okay, well, the arrow's going to spot 2 people.
Wait, they're still there.
Yeah. I feel like GENG expect this, but they just want to fight. And they are going to escort them out of the lane.
Yeah, no, I know GENG. I'm just like, Brion, why are you still there? I think maybe they didn't think the arrow would have spotted them. But it did. Everything ends up working out.
As in goes Palu, he's not going to hit anything, as now we do have a TP coming in, but the hostile takeover hits everything, and that's the issue. But another TP comes in from Morgan. Surely that'll help, as the answer is absolutely no. Fate's going to go down. Morgan is alone as Youngjae gets routed. Envy finally gets there, and Morgan nearly sneaks a kill on the backside of this, as it's not quite an ace, but it nearly looks like a clean ace, as Envy says, well, I'm not getting out of this. I don't have Arcane Shift. I might as well fight, and just kind of looks silly as he goes down to the 5-0 pays Ashe.
Oh, that was a little bit more well-coordinated. I actually think it might at least work a little bit instead of being a...
Maybe 1 kill?
So, well, I think they get 2. Because here... So this is obviously a disaster. It's amazing hostile takeover, but here, if Fate and Morgan are synced up, like they probably kill the Hens. Yeah, no, you know what? Rolling back the tape, I don't think there's a.
Yeah, no, I'm.
This
yeah.
this doesn't work out. I take it back. Maybe they would have traded a 4-for-1 as opposed to 4-for-0.
That last highlight, that last replay was just insane to watch because they all lined up for hostile takeover, and then Canyon was on the opposite side with his ult, and it just met in the middle as both team ults that are amazing in the Bros comp just absolutely wiped them out. And it wasn't super flashy, it didn't get the kills, but it set up everything. Yeah. And now the game is over.
I think there are...
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's an engage into a handshake. Palu on the Leona with no flash will go down. And we do have another charge. He's going to utilize it down in the bottom lane. He's getting better at his driving. No, I spoke too soon. And I cursed him. He missed it. It's over.
No, maybe he was trying to... We can't know until we hear the comms. Maybe he was just trying to hit Morgan, which wouldn't have done anything because it's Jax and
yeah.
Udyr. I don't know. With hands, it's 50-50.
You never know.
You never know.
No. Fate is getting some free time here with the turret.
That's nice. They haven't spent a lot of time recently, so it's good to get reacquainted.
It's good not to spend all your time in one place. Like, Yone generally spends all his time with the mid lane turret, but honestly, I think the top lane turret deserves a little bit more respect and focus and attention.
Yeah.
So, good on Fate.
Got to treat them all equally.
Yeah.
It's very important. Don't want any turret feel like they get less love. And right now, you know, top lane turret is doing well.
It is. It's getting a lot of attention. Yeah. Bro have identified that, hey, they're going to back off of this push with the Rift Herald, and they're going to go for the Dragon. So where are they not going to be? Top lane. So we can take down the top lane turret, get the objective bounty, and try desperately to claw our way back in this game. All right.
He's just okay, now we know. Now we know. He question mark pinged himself.
Yeah, that was very questionable, I will say.
Oh, really, hands.
I don't even think that angle was too difficult either. He just messed it up. I don't know why. Like, we need to take his driver's license away, I think.
I'm pretty sure the rest of GENG has already told him he's not allowed to do it anymore. I think he just doesn't listen.
Of course not. It's Lehans.
I think that's...
yeah, no, he's not going to listen to anyone.
I just imagine the comms like Chovy being like, Lehans, don't take it. And obviously Keen has already given up, having spent many a season with this guy. Because obviously everyone remembers last year, but what if I told you there was also an Africa year where they played, and I'm pretty sure they were 10th. I think it was Viper, Lehans, and Keen, and they were 10th.
On Africa?
I think so, yeah, if I remember correctly.
Maybe I blocked it out of my memory.
And,
I'm not 100% sure. They're just taking a 20-minute Baron, by the way.
This game is clearly done. I want to give...
The steal!
Oh.
I was getting hyped. Palu's going to flash. He's dead anyway, but, you know, might as well flash. Tried to unlock his Hex Flash, which he did do. And you know what? He held Pays in position, but it's not going to be enough. As heal is used by Lehans, gets him out, and GENG have Baron. And we'll see where they push with this one. Can pretty much go anywhere. Poor Palu, man. They're like, man, we got Ezreal Leona. This is going to be great. Palu very confident on Leona. Let's get it done. And now he's 0-6.
Life's rough.
Life is rough. Yeah.
I was trying to double check because I think the Viper Lehans roster was in Hanwha.
Yeah, that was Hanwha.
Yeah.
Viper and Lehans.
So I'm missing out. And then Lehans was next year.
Okay, nice block there from Morgan, who's going to hop away. And now we got the flank coming in, but the dodge at a pace, but they just get on top of this. Ash, as you were saying, he's going to go down, but the trade onto Fate is pretty huge. Morgan's going to go on in. As the counter-strike is big, it's going to stun up 3. As Chovy is still alive in the backside, has the bailout, looking for the takedown. He will be denied, but Keen, unkillable. Envy doesn't quite do enough damage. The wallets are just a little bit too heavy here on the side of GENG. It's much closer than it has to be, but GENG are still going to win in the end.
Oh, Breon. I actually, as that whole sequence started, I want to give them credit. I think they still look so much better. This game is done. They weren't going to beat GENG, and that's completely fine. But I still think Breon has vitalized themselves. And here, it's the flank from Fate that I think ends up being the big difference maker. Pace just not expecting this at all. Even though he doesn't get hit, doesn't matter. You still get on top of him, immediately apply the passive. And then this is what we said, if Pace dies at the beginning of a fight, life gets rough. No one can damage Morgan. The flash counter-strike, beautifully done. Problem is just that they are too far behind, right? Like, there's just not enough damage.
The wallets.
The wallets are too heavy. I think Envy, unfortunately, also not landing the Mystic shots with the same accuracy that some of his contemporaries do. And as a result, GENG able to still get the most out of that fight. And again, we know. And that's okay.
It is okay. I mean, bro are putting up a pretty good fight against GENG, all things considered. The positivity is off the charts here tonight. But it's still GENG, and they're still in a 6,000 gold lead at this point in time. As now, ooh, that arrow gonna hit the Yone, but Keen alone against 4, can't really do much. He's trying to clear the wave and stop the push from coming in. Meanwhile, his team, with the last drops of the Red Bull Baron power play, is trying to utilize a push down in the bottom side, and they should be able to get this as the handshake comes in. And actually, they're just not going to overcommit. They say, you know what? The rotation's coming down. Let's not do too much happy gaming. We want to go get some food after this match. We don't want it to go too late.
They don't want to ruin their game score. They already dropped a game, Valdez.
I know.
What about the game?
The horror.
My favorite part about that game is that it was like almost a perfect game as well.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just a loss.
Uh-oh. Engage Renata from the jungle as the hostile takeover comes out, and Envy is just going to get caught by everything. No real way to peel for him. He didn't have flash. He only has one arcane shift. And down he goes.
Look at Lance. He's walking up.
What is happening here? He's just sprinting at the Sejuani. And the Sejuani ult is going to hit, well, the Udyr. As GENG once again showing some restraint. They don't have a wave, so probably the right call to just back away.
It's insane to me that Baron is spawning in 2 minutes and we're 24 minutes into the game. That doesn't seem right. That's really early. As we take another look here, Envy unfortunately runs out of summoners. Fate, nicely done getting out, but you know when the Yone ult's being used defensively, things are not ideal. As if we didn't have enough sustain and healing to come through, we are going to further amplify that with an Ocean Soul.
Yes. Ocean Soul picked up here for GENG, and they just are ready to go on the next Baron, I would imagine. In about a minute, they're just going to go ahead and look to take this down. And, bro, I mean, they're trying to set up some vision. They have a couple of cheeky wards around there. They have identified the Baron, or not the Baron, the Banana Brush, and they've got a control ward in there.
It's not impossible if you don't take into account the items. Like, I generally don't know how you catch enough people now that QSS is done for Chovy and, what's it called? The Bell. McKill's.
The Bell.
The Bell
Yes.
is there.
McBell.
Wait, oh my
They don't see
God.
him. They don't see him.
No!
No!
No, bro, he's right there!
Bro!
Didn't know. Oh man, they wouldn't have killed him. They would have gotten his flash though. That
Yeah.
would have been cool.
Maybe it's QSS.
Oh no, Black Cleaver.
Yep.
Blade of the Rune King. It's back, Valdez.
It is back.
And you know people are going to build it because Chovy did.
Of course. Chovy built it, so everyone built it. It must be the build.
This is another Sunfire Yone situation, I'm telling you.
Hey, Sunfire was pretty OP. But yeah, that was interesting. Young Jay trying to go for a little flank of his own. He's not going to be able to find the angle. And now GENG, they have this Baron available, ready for the taking. Decent amount of vision around the pit. I'm just not sure that GENG really care about that. And they will actually skirt out of the vision mostly, although they do start that up on vision. So now Bro should know this is being taken.
Doesn't
what will
matter.
they do about it?
I don't think they'll do a lot. They're going to try and play for the fight. Try to get those 2 carries, Valdez.
Yeah, Young Jae, he's not even able to get in the pit. This lineup, not bad, but the root comes in from Canyon to deny Fate entry, as now the hostile takeover is just the cherry on top of this one, as now Morgan in a lot of trouble, and Pays is not even going to go down. They had the bailout available and ready to go on him, and that should do it. GENG get a second Baron, and they'll look to push and end the game.
Clean ace from GENG. Oh, well, not an ace. Fate's still alive. It doesn't feel like that's going to really change a whole lot here. As we do need a wave, which they will be receiving shortly. There it is. just tanking it. It's fine.
Fate still does have flash and ult if he would like to send one, you know. Instead, he's just going to be hands shook, and then he sends one. Actually, pretty nice, but he will immediately die. So, not going to feel too good. As GENG, they're taking a bunch of damage, but they're selling out a lot more than that. As yep, they'll just hit the Nexus the second they're in danger. It is a clean 2-0. Absolutely nothing to see here, as GENG will just smash their opponents.
Oh, GENG. That first game, first 10 minutes, absolutely pivotal. As oh, Lahenza and Youngjae there actually having some fun. Of course, Youngjae was on GENG before, and not surprising. As
wow, the longest winning streak in LCK history. The longest winning streak for series ever. 25 series in a row.
And
to be continued.
It's Brion. They did not do the funniest thing ever, but I think they looked a lot better than expected today. I think that this team is not the same team that we saw in week 2, week 3, where it just looked like the Owen 36 dream was alive. Yeah. Not going to be the case, and we talk about them a little bit because what is there to say about GENG?
That's a really cute drawing of Canyon.
It is.
I liked that.
And I got to say, the next opponent for GENG, Kwangdong. Amidst the Kwangdong mid-season collapse, I don't think that's going to be great. Then we got BNK, and then we got T1 GENG, and normally that's one of the most hype events of the season. I don't, with how things are looking right now, I am not too certain about that one.
That must be a Caster John drawing, just yelling for Lahens.
I think it's a meme.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I've seen that face definitely.
It just looks like a Caster John to me.
I mean,
it looked like he was casting, you know, yelling for Lens. Anyway, the memes are alive and well here at the LCK.
I wonder who will get POG between Lahens or Pays.
Can we just give a
like
joint duo POG?
Because right? Even the cameraman at the end was like, we got them both. Because even this, right, which ends up, or which starts with Lance dying, I feel like a lot of the setup comes from it. I think Pays' early game in particular was exceptional, but Lahens' impact on the map was kind of mind-boggling. Actually went back and forth a bunch of times. So we'll see who ends up getting it. Brion, you know, and I'm meaning this, as I'm the known bro anti without any memes, they played proactive, they kept looking for plays.
This play, man. The hostile takeover into the Maokai ultimate.
No, and then even here, like,
just don't get to move.
The fact that Lahens just barely gets out, the fact that the juggling in terms of damage, in terms of aggro from GENG, it's so oppressive. It's so hard to play into. This team, exceptional team fights, and that alone would be enough to make them a threat, but the laning has been very good. For a couple of glimpses, moments like this, where Brion got close, and maybe like 2-3 extra Qs from Envy that end up hitting. Could have been the difference maker, right? Like, look at how a little bit more gold.
The Lord.
Lord trying so hard.
I mean, I don't even think Envy had a bad fight. I think he like missed that one Q. But sometimes that's all that matters when you're playing Ezreal.
Yeah,
right? Like you miss 1 or 2, and it's like, ooh,
this
could have won if we hit the 1 or 2.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. This isn't an Envy game where like he eats into multiple people and dies, right? Like it was just they probably shouldn't have been that close in position to take that fight to begin with. As we take a look at the final fight of the game.
Yone. Behind. And just intense focus. Ezreal. Just go bot. And they did. And the game ended. Chovy did the most damage in the game this time around, but doesn't feel like a Chovy POG angle anyway. maybe we get like a right media or like a VN cast. You know, some of the 80. Well, I was gonna say 80 carry enjoyers, but then I realized, yeah, he's in the mid.
If you're an 80 carry enjoyer, I think it's a pretty easy pace vote.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see who gets it. I think that there's no wrong choices as long as you vote for one of the two players in the bottom.
In the bottom lane, yeah. A couple of the bottom laners, and you're doing well. So we're done here on the cast. That was a very clean 2-0. Was still very enjoyable. The positivity still off the charts. We're going to send it over to the space to break down this series.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the POG interview translation, joined by Paze and Lihens on the side of GENG, who just made history again by breaking the longest winning streak in the LCK. Congratulations! So from spring until today, you have won 25 series in a row, setting a new record for the longest winning streak in the LCK. How do you feel? Following the last match, being able to set another record makes me very happy. And Lihens, yeah, even for today's match, it was a 2-0. What a fun match. I plan to prepare for the next match and make sure that we win again. And in Game 1, GENG showcased such an unconventional team comp with top Kalista, mid Lucian, and bot Ezreal, a 3 boom boom damage comp. So how did you guys come up with it? You know, we already had this in mind, and I had a really hard time just thinking about playing Leona, and then Keen, thankfully, he went with Gnar, and yeah, I think we just had a great game overall thanks to him. And yeah, Paze, so given how risky this 380 carry comp was, you may have freaked out some fans. So what was playing this comp on stage? Honestly, Gnar has a really high tier, is very high on the tier list right now, and being able to play with Keen, who is very proficient with Gnar. And just having Maokai on our team, I think just regardless of it being a risky comp, I think we just really had a reliable team, I guess, to complete the comp. So I didn't really worry about much. So Paze, your Ezreal had over 1300 DPM. How do you feel about how you did in this replay? I feel like my Ezreal was already so fed. And I don't think there was anything I did special. So you got a unanimous POG from here. So did you expect that? So yeah, towards the end, I wasn't the best Ezreal, but just because I did really well during the laning phase, I did have a little bit of confidence, and I thought that maybe I would get POG. And in Game 2, you gave your Ezreal to Envy. So what was your read on the Ezreal-Ashe matchup? I think whoever wins lane is better. I just think that whoever is more confident ends up winning. So Lihens, what are your thoughts on the Ezreal-Ashe matchup? I think whatever Paze plays will always win, and that's the better pick. So as soon as Game 2 started, you really blew up the early game with Ashe. You took 4 kills in a row. So at which point did it cross your mind that the game was over? Yeah, we fought so much, and just trading kills in the with the Ezreal in the beginning actually made me think that it was pretty much over. Do you agree, Paze? You know, that was there were moments where the enemy had their chance, so I didn't think that it was very too like over or anything. I think by the time I reached maybe some core items and I thought that I was pretty fed, I did think that it was pretty over. And let's take a look at this top lane team fight. It looked a little dicey at the moment, but you landed a beautiful ult. The enemy Ezreal was coming, and we had TP on our side, and I thought that, you know, as long as we actually fight together, it would be good.
인간적인 면모가
Lians,
또 있기
so
때문에
you're a
팬분들이
great
아마도
gamer
그런
in
이유 때문에
game.
리엔즈 선수를 더 사랑하는 게 아닐까 이런 생각이 드는데 인간적인
But it
면모
looks
한번
like you
보겠습니다.
do prove that you are in fact a human
아니, 이
in this
정도면은
replay.
어떻게 생각하세요?
A little bit of an accident while driving and you crashed your Shelly.
그 전에
You know, yeah, I actually ended up crashing, but I thought maybe this is a bug.
한번 자신이 없었나 봐요.
어.
캐니 선수가 안 해가지고 제가 억지로 했는데 절벽에서 제가
You know, I actually ended up driving because Canyon wasn't comfortable and confident enough to drive. This was just an opportunity to learn.
그냥
Hayes, so what are your thoughts on his driving skills?
결과가 좋은 것 같진 않고 근데
I feel like whenever he's on the driver's seat, the results not very good.
네, 그렇게 됐습니다.
You know, he just took a turn to the bot lane, so it was a very spontaneous happening.
감독님들이 단합대회를 했거든요, 저희가.
아, 네, 봤습니다.
Did you guys happen to watch LCK Lane Mates?
페이지 선수가 감독님이랑
So head coach Kim actually mentioned that whenever he and you get on the elevator, you always sneak away. So is this true? You know, I've never ran away or anything.
제가 평소에도 말이 좀 없는
We've been on the elevator, just the two of us, but I tend to not
도망간 적은 없습니다.
talk a lot. I'm not very chatty, so I think it was just a little bit awkward. So maybe I did sneak away. So I was told that you ran away to join Canyon. I do not remember. Lians, what are your thoughts?
15살 이상 차이가 나가지고 그런 것 같습니다.
You know, I think it's because mainly of their age gap that it's a little awkward. So Paige, how would you explain yourself to head coach Kim?
되게 재밌으신데 항상 저희한테
You know, our head coach is very funny. They always make us laugh. So thank you so much for that.
아, 네, 시호 형이랑
네.
말이 좀 이상하게 됐나요? 시호 형이랑 되게 친하신데
Is that a weird thing to say? I guess he's very good friends with Lians.
거기서 이제
And they,
입장에서는 정말 재밌어가지고
you know, they hit off pretty well. And I feel like just from looking at them be so friendly to each other, it's actually really fun to watch. So with a new record, you are onwards to making even more history. Looking at the remaining matches, what are your goals?
일단 2라운드 출발이 되게 좋아서 너무 좋고 남은 경기도
So we have a great start in round 2. For the remaining matches, I do not believe that we are at a perfect form yet, so I want to make sure that we improve and refine ourselves to make it even better. And Lians, yeah, we got a good 2-0 victory, and I feel like there are still room for improvement, so I want to make sure that we are the ones smiling at the end, just like Paige said. And that's the end of the interview from Paige and Lihans, and back to the space. Thank you.